Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Give a Shift. I
Woohoo!
am Nancy,
And my name's Alicia.
and we are so thrilled to be doing our second episode where our main goal is to help you gain optimal health, energy, vitality, so you can live your life fully longer, right?
Exactly.
Yes. So our first episode, we came on and we basically introduced ourselves. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go back and do that. But basically we talked about the shifts that we had in our lives that got us to this point. And today we wanted to kind of continue with that and discuss it's one thing to start, right? To have that pivot or
Right.
whatever it might be. And then the kicker is what?
Continuing on with it despite challenges.
Yes, it's that word everybody's sick and tired of hearing. Consistency. No matter what, right?
Right. So
And
I think the kicker was we were talking about what is it that makes people give up?
yeah,
Right. So that, the dreaded C word of, oh, consistency. Is it really true? Is it really a thing? How come I feel like I've already done it and it doesn't work? And where in the brain or in the heart space, or when you're, starting something or doing something, do people kind of go, uh,
yeah.
I'm out. I'm done. It's too much. I don't feel like doing it anymore. And when we started the podcast, you were telling me this great story about being in a business where you felt just like that.
Yeah. I equate everything now, especially when I'm relating to my clients, because I understand we're in a different space now. And I equate it to starting a business now because it's never linear. It's like you think is point A, point B. So say you want to gain better health or weight loss, and you're like, well, I'm here and I want to get here. And if I just do step A, B, and C, ta-da, I'll be there. But what nobody tells you is you're going to do step A, and then you're probably going to trip on a few rocks, maybe go back a little bit, and then it's like this instead. It's very zigzaggy instead of
For those
linear.
of you that aren't watching us, Nancy's zigzagging and corkscrewing and roller coastering everywhere.
Yes, I forget you can't see me for those listening on the podcast. But it's true, right? Like, I mean, how many times when I'm starting this business, I'm thinking, oh, I want to give up. But it's the same even, I know for me, I know we have different scenarios, but for me, even going through and starting my own health journey and my own fitness journey very late in the game at, late 40s. And then things were going well, like I saw success, and then I didn't. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, one, I coach this. I need to be like the example. And suddenly I've hit a plateau, and it wasn't a normal plateau. But I will tell you, the only reason I was able to get through that, I was losing, we've talked about it, I was losing muscle. I was not feeling good, but I kept going because this is what I think is key, and is I have at the core of everything, it's not just a body goal, but it is ultimate health goal. And as long as I knew if I keep doing the foundations to make sure I have optimal health, I'll figure out the rest. And that's kind of how I got over the big hurdle from last year. And then I have many more. But what about you? What would you say? I know. Get ready, everybody. Get ready.
I found this printout. And I was trying, for those of you who can't see, I have found a printout that says why people give up. And because I've been working out since I was 10, pretty much every day, which is, even when I get sick, I'm the kind of person that the doctor's like, please don't go exercise today and take it easy. I have been trying to figure out for myself, and it just dawned on me when you said it, that you were going through this journey. And I was thinking, what is it that really has kept me so consistent for soon to be 32 years? 32
Yeah.
years
Wow.
of some innate drive. But if we are going to piggyback, I guess, the last episode, and I would have to say it's probably because, like I was mentioning, having witnessed so many people not feeling well, and
Mhm.
then hearing that little changes like daily exercise and eating well and making better choices, like all of those seem very cliche because it's such a saturated market that we're in. And that's part of the whole health journey and marketing and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's really true. And I think because I have a heart condition,
Mm.
I have arrhythmia, and I was, I had a few things happen when I was a preemie, and I was always felt like I was born with this gift of like, well, this is it. So I have to take care of it. I have to nourish it. This is my temple. And when it's starting to feel a little off, I'm going to figure it out. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of really just been, for me, it's become habit. Like it is part of routine. It's part of my happy, it's the cocktail that keeps me happy every day. And I feel like it's kind of the one thing that I can lean on that I have control over. So maybe at the end of the day, it's because I have control issues. So I can control how I feel and how I take care of myself. But truly, when I'm helping clients and they are on the verge of wanting to give up, it makes me really sad because I always feel like I'm like, no, wait. Just on the other side of that feeling is the breakthrough, right? Like
Yes.
my mom always says, you got to have the breakdown to have the breakthrough, right? And it is that because once you can get over the plateau, once you can decipher what it is that's going on that's not making you feel well, and you like just turn the corner, you
Yeah.
really can go the distance. And I know that in the last episode too, I had mentioned, ironically enough, that I ran a marathon or two without training.
Yes.
And
Anomaly.
please don't do that. But I was thinking about that earlier because I feel like that's the epitome of giving up. Like that is an excuse to give up. That's 26 miles of pain, torture,
Yeah.
hard work, and in it I realized not giving up is all really just mental. You really just have to tell yourself you can do it and start to trust yourself. And I think that giving up is people not trusting themselves. They're not trusting that the change will happen. They're not trusting that the goodness is going to come. They're not trusting that, oh, well, I'll have better markers, or they're not trusting that because it's not happening fast enough. And so I really feel like giving up is a trust issue,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
right?
true. I mean, the way you phrase it, for sure, it's a trust in something, trust in the process, trust in the, maybe if you bought a program,
Mhm.
trust in yourself. And I think that's a big one. And I'm going to speak specifically to a lot of women my age. I'm almost 59, and we definitely grew up in the shiny object syndrome. There was diet after diet after diet, starve yourself, don't eat fat, like all these crazy things. And we
Mhm.
were tossed around like, boom, boom, do this, do that. And then once that kind of started phasing out a little bit and we started learning and knowing more, it became a little bit of the mentality, go hard, go or go home. Now you might be that mentality. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You can
But
still come to my home.
but I think the go hard or go home set so many people up for failure.
Mhm.
And so that was one of the reasons that a lot of people might they give up. They think they have to do everything
Right.
all at once, when we've learned, and we are continually learning over and over, that small habits done consistently, but I always add this part, with effort, are
Mhm.
what are going to get you the results. If you're doing the same habit consistently, but you're not applying any effort or progress, well, you're not going to make progress either, right? Like you have to add that in. But I've totally lost my train of thought where I was going.
Well, because I feel like you were leaning towards it's not yielding change. So if it's not yielding change, that's
Yeah.
still not the reason to quit, right? Like I would have never finished the marathon or two or any of the other crazy endeavors I've done if I had looked at it like it was daunting. It literally is kind of just obviously you don't run putting your head down. You have to do 10 to 20 feet in front of you, but I'm just using it as an example for my runners. It's almost like just looking down at your feet and saying, okay, it's just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm doing the Women's Epic 100, and we're running 100 miles for the month of April. And you have 30 days in which to do it. And of course, because I wanted to challenge myself, I have 13.7 miles left for like 2 weeks. And I've already decided I'm just going to go run a little bit more than a half marathon. But I know in my head that I can do it because I believe that we're built for hard things, and we forget that. So it's not that I have to go hard. I just have to get it done.
Yeah.
So the time frame doesn't matter because the goal isn't speed, the goal is distance. So also kind of reframing yourself for what is my specific goal?
Yeah.
Right? Like when I'm running this much, it's not the same training as when I'm doing my bikini competition.
Yeah.
The mindset's different, the training's different, the eating's different. So it's like, what's that true desire that's going to lead you to not give up? Like, what is the most important thing to you that will keep you consistent? Because I think kind of going about it like, oh, it's all just too much. Trust me, you
Yeah.
guys, like, I will be running and go, okay, now we're just going to go to the end of the block. Okay, now just go get that tree. Okay, now pass the trash can. It's not, oh, let's just go to where I can't see anything and then I expect myself to like really be engaged in it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're right. Like if you make it daunting, you will innately want to quit because as humans, aren't we like aren't we like hardwired to take the path of like the path of least resistance? Like I really think we are designed to Netflix and chill.
We
And as I
are.
was telling you earlier, I'm not into quitting because I feel like that's what everybody else does. So I'm like, I don't think so. Don't want to do that. I don't want to be like everybody else. And I'm really into surprising myself to see what I
Yeah.
am capable of doing, what I am willing to commit to, how good the changes feel, what parts do I like, what parts do I maybe need a coach for? Like I'm a coach that gets coaches for things. And I think also leaning, like if you're starting to give up, kind of checking in with what aspect of it is making you want to give up. Like you were relating it to the business and saying that you hate tech,
Yes. Yes.
but that you had really sought out industry professionals that were helping you, right? Kind of
Right.
ease into it, understand it, not feel overwhelmed by it in order to have the success that you've had with all of your programs. I mean, because yeah, you can literally and figuratively pull the plug.
Literally. Yes. Yes.
And I know
But
you
I
will.
think you bring up a really good point about coaches, and we're both Alicia and I are coaches, and we have coaches like for different things in our life. And I think it's really important what you said earlier. It's a trust and maybe not trusting ourselves. And it's not that. I think this is where the trick comes in, is because listen, our listeners, they're smart, they're successful, they're savvy. So
Absolutely.
they know, right? You know what to do. But there is a massive difference in knowing and then knowing that exactly the plan that you have set forth is right. So you find somebody
Mhm.
that has the proven track record already. And
Mhm.
then you can put the trust in them. And you're still going to have your own journey. You're still going to have to work through your own things, but at least you know that the person that you're talking to and working with has been there, done that, and had success. And I think this is important too. Even I know for me, when I started my
Mhm.
journey, I mean, I would sign up for a program, sign up with a trainer, and then maybe that didn't get everything. But I would say, what can I take from that? And then now I'm going to go look for the next thing. I wasn't jumping from program to program or doing something like that. I was learning, taking what I applied that made sense for me, because sometimes not everything that makes sense for you is going to make sense for me, is going to make sense for someone else. And
Right.
then I take that and then I move to the next, building upon. I never was like, I'm just a beginner. You just keep building upon. But I had always the health as my ultimate goal. I wanted great health. And that meant also really great functional fitness. That was part of it for me.
Mhm.
So I think it's really, really key in the how to stay consistent is to get that deep, deep knowing of the why. It always comes back in the end to the why. Like, why do I really want this? And then I would love for you to share some of the things on the sheet as to why people tend to give up. And
Okay.
let's see if it resonates, with anyone. And because these
No,
are
because I
things,
was
if it resonates and you hear it, hey, that's a great discussion for you to have with somebody.
okay. So let's start with why people give up. They expect fast results,
Mm-hmm.
stop believing in themselves, get stuck in
Mm-hmm.
the past, dwell on mistakes, fear the future, resist change, give up their power, believe in
Yeah.
their weaknesses, feel the world owes them something, fear failure more than desire success, never visualize what is possible, feel they have something to lose, overwork, assume their problems are unique, see failure as the signal to turn back, and lastly, they feel sorry for themselves.
Yes. Ouch.
Woo!
Right. And I know, I mean, I'm not in that place now, but I know there was a time that for me, I definitely resonated with more of those. I mean, I don't now, and I'm very grateful for that. But
Okay, so let me to put you on the spot then.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when you currently, because you are saying you kind of got over that hump and you're in a good groove right now and everything's
yeah.
gelling, when you, Nancy, start to have that moment of like the break kind of is coming up or the red flags in your face or you're starting to feel the turmoil or whatever it is manifesting in your body, what is your switch? What is the thing that is keeping you from not giving up? And actually, I guess I could also say giving a shift.
Yeah,
But what
right,
is it
right.
for you personally?
It honestly, right, and I have those moments, and I still have those moments. But honestly, it's the simple little mantra: quitting will never get me to the results that I want. Quitting will never continue with my optimal health. There is nothing about quitting that is going to work better than
Mhm.
what I'm doing. Like, quitting just dead stops it. And I don't want to dead stop it. Now, it doesn't mean, maybe, listen, sometimes you might have to get a little bit more realistic with what your goals are and what your behaviors are. You want them to, you have to challenge yourself, but you have to make sure that your behaviors match your goals. You can't say, I want to be in a bikini fitness contest, but I still want to go out partying every night or
No, you
wine
cannot.
every night, right? Like,
No.
I do listen to people, and like one of the first things I'll say when we talk about what can you do, and the litany of what they
Mhm.
don't want to give up. Shoo. And I'm like,
And that's all the reasons that they're holding, right? That's the resistance. That's the,
yeah,
I would say
yeah.
that, oh, the resistance to change, number, what is that? 6.
Yeah, yeah. And so it really is just the desire that I don't want to give up. And that, just to me, is I don't want to give up on myself. I'm like,
Mhm.
I really believe, I mean, again, at the age I'm at, I potentially have 40, even 50 more years. Like, you could live to 110 now.
Well, good. We have a lot of podcasting
We
to
have so
do.
many podcasts to do, but I want to live them.
Yeah.
I don't want, like the saying goes, you don't want to just add years to your life. You want life to those years. And that means this, what you were describing is very accurate. Our temple, we have to take care of. And it just, honestly, it's the two things that over and over: just start and then don't quit. And that's
Yeah,
it.
it's so if you're having an adverse reaction to the word consistency, that is okay. I like the word follow through. And
Hmm.
follow makes me feel like a journey. It makes me feel like there's momentum in the word. It makes me feel like there's somewhere to go that
Yeah.
doesn't end, right? It's kind of like on my back, I have tattooed an unalumi that I turned into an arrow because I always feel like whatever pulls you back is shooting you forward. And I turned it into an arrow because I wanted it to keep going. I feel like there's always just this forward momentum to life. And for myself, when I start to feel, and I'm also an actor. I could not quit in this business if I wanted to get somewhere, right? My life is rejection, it's challenge, it's the artistry, the creativity. You never know. It feels judging, but there's a passion of, but what if?
Yeah.
And when? And what does that look like? And it makes me tingle, right? And there's a quality to having follow through in your life, like you were saying, and treating yourself really well. And so when I really start to kind of get, oh, I don't really want to go for a run, I have a little FOMO. And that's how I treat it, as in, when I say from my mantra, I don't want to, so I will. It's
Oh, wow.
in the moment that I'm saying, I don't feel like running 4 miles today, that I go put my shoes on and go run the 4 miles. Because what I want to do is break the pattern of excuses when they creep in. I want to pattern interrupt. I want to stop that and say, but if you do it, you already know you're going to feel better. You already know that's 4 miles closer to your goal. You already know, like, you know that good stuff is coming. But if you don't go do it, you're not going to. And so I kind of think that creating for yourself a fun little, like yours is I love your quitting one is great. And mine is, okay, well, too bad that you don't feel like it. You're going to go do it.
Yeah.
This is the exact moment that you're training yourself, like you
Yeah.
would a toddler, to not have a tantrum, to do something proactive to make yourself feel better.
I love it. I love it. I love it. The moment you feel like you don't want to do something, that's the moment you need to go do it.
Right.
And pattern interrupt. Oh my God. Our whole world is patterns. And like, that's so key, is to interrupt those patterns, interrupt those thoughts, and
Right.
that hold you back. Right. And all not doing the follow through is what's holding you back. And so I love it. I think we could talk about this forever. I think it really is more, and we might, I think we're going to have a lot more to say on this particular topic, and we'll go more in depth, because a lot of people can start. They start, right? And I call it sometimes the false start. Like, they are like, yeah, I've got to go. I've got the shoes. I've got the socks. I've got the water bottles. I've got the headband. I've got it all. I'm going to start running. Right.
Right.
And then but they didn't do a little bit maybe of the internal work beforehand, the why, the what's it mean to them, all the different things, maybe going through things that are on that list, like what could be my roadblocks? Like that's the internal stuff before they, get to the racing line, I guess it would be, and going. And then, they trip over themselves,
right?
Because they didn't do that. And that's the false start. And it's like getting all those externals in place without thinking about the internal.
Yeah.
And so
and I think, like you were saying, if you do want to jot it down, you can pull out a little journal or just a piece of paper and say, that's nice, but and then just the reasons why you would do it, not the reasons why you won't. So many people focus on the negatives. It's like, infuse yourself with the positives of why you want to do it, so that you feel good about doing those things, not the list of all the reasons why, like, well, I still do this, and you're going to make yourself feel humdrum, make yourself feel exhausted, tired, labored, unhappy. Like, how you talk to yourself really matters. So maybe in the show notes, I think we can write, like, here's the list of why people give up. And here are, a few questions that you might want to journal before starting, that you can use and create your own personal mantra or your own, power statement, that when you do start to have a consistency lapse, or you're feeling like you're not following through, you can kind of cling to it. Because I really do. I really cling to my, oh gosh, I don't feel like it. Well, then you're going to go do it.
Yeah, I love it.
And some people are like, well, that kind of sounds like punishment. I'm like, well, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Who else is going to keep me in check? I'm in charge of me. I think so many times too, we do look to other people where we're like, well, no one's watching. I'm like, well, I'm watching me at the end of the day.
Yes.
Right. Like, how am I respecting myself by giving up? So I think that if you can kind of structure your thought pattern around, like, okay, these are the cool reasons to do something. I'm totally deserving of it. I'm going to address the reasons why I personally give up. decide if maybe I need to find a coach or some help or
Yeah.
lean into that. Or maybe it's just, no, I'll just do what they said and I'll just go the one extra block. Like, I don't know, before we wrap this up, I had posted on a Facebook page, I have a note from a senior gentleman who had reached out to me, and I don't know him. And he said, Miss Alicia, I feel like I'm not in that great a shape, but you really inspire me, and I don't know what to do. And I was like, that's the overwhelm. I said, so let's break it down. I said, you know what, Joe? I want you to walk for me 3 times a week, just 3 times. And I would like for you to try to give me 35 minutes, just 35 minutes. Because I know that 30 minutes is common and that 5 extra minutes is mental. Okay. That's why.
Yeah. Love it. I love it.
So I said, Joe, I just want you to give me 35 minutes 3 times a week. Girl, that man has written me. Okay. He has incorporated weights. He walks on the treadmill with weights 5 times a week. He's now asking me lifting plans. He's changed his eating habits. He's now fasting. I mean, the man went from, I have no idea what to do, to making himself feel like a superhero just by doing, like you said, the small things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to go run 26 crazy miles.
You don't have to do that.
You can train for it, Alicia, but you really have to know that you're capable of it.
Yeah.
We all are. Nobody has anything that you
Yes.
don't have. Nobody has it. You don't have to have the perfect shoe. You don't have to have the perfect water bottle. You don't have to have the perfect playlist. You just have to go do something in the imperfection of it all, because it's not always going to be perfect. And circumstantially, you can always find a reason to not do something.
Always.
So it
And
really
waiting.
is getting out of your own way and following through with it. I say we have this as whatever your new mantra is for yourself. Which
Yeah.
I would love for everybody to comment and tell us what their mantra is.
I would love that too. So that's your task today. Comment below what your new mantra is, and we'll get the show notes out. And I also want to say, Alicia and I are opening up soon a Facebook group, and so we can carry this conversation further and really like start sharing a lot more in detail what we do, how we do it, how we really overcome the things in our life to really gain the right mindset to train your brain and train your body the way you want, so that you can basically achieve the life and the body that you feel just fantastic living in. And that looks different for everybody. But what you said earlier, Alicia, like one of the things, envision it. Take time to really feel like, how do you want to feel 5, 10, 20 years from now? And if it's right where you are, don't forget to factor in aging, because you have to like do some things to, overcome that. But great. But if it's not, doing nothing isn't going to help it. So, and just starting small and then keep going will really elevate and get you going. Like you said with your example, I love it. Thank you, Joe, for that great example.
Thank you, Joe. I love Joe.
We love Joe.
Yeah, we're excited to have everybody in the community, and I'm just excited for everybody to really, to know that you can armor up with not giving up. You really can. You can soldier on, and you can do it, and you can reaffirm it for yourself, and you do not have to complicate it. It's really not complicated.
Please don't complicate it.
No.
Yeah.
Even just walking like that one extra block or one block when you're doing 0 is more than, doing nothing. And so, I'm just, I'm happy to have shared.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for episode 2. And we will be back next week with some more exciting information for you to continue.
Yeah, because we are attending a seminar and on the art of living. So we will have some takeaways.
Yes, perfect. All right. Bye, everyone.
Much love.